Hello, hello. I am live. Hoo-ah. Hope everyone's having a good night this Thursday evening. Gonna be rating Pharaonic Guardian PGD Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I think it should be a fun stream for all those tuning in. For those watching this on a VOD, thank you for checking it out. I appreciate y'all's support. Make sure I don't smell like smoke. That would be particularly fun. Like smell good. Anyone who watching this hear that Minoru Suzuki is going to be fighting Maki Ito? That's crazy. I can't get past that. Like Maki Ito and Suzuki? Are you kidding me? What world do we live in? How much cards are we dealing with here? This is the bulk of the cards. Very excited. Got my book, Pharaonic Guardian book. This one was actually kind of hard to find. I wait till this was back in stock. This like yellow Dex Protector book. So if I need to reference cards, you'll see me looking down at the Pharaonic, my physical Pharaonic Guardian book, which I'm really excited to cover this one because this is my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh set. Some of you may already know that, but I'm a big fan of it. Just like look at it, just the Egyptian and monster set. Like this is Yu-Gi-Oh. This is peak Yu-Gi-Oh right here, and I'm excited to cover the cards, even though it may not be like the best set ever in terms of like card by card. A lot of fun with it. You got the zombies, you got the Egyptian stuff, the grave keepers, all the other like weird things like question and reversal quiz and trap a board eraser, like just weird janky stuff like that. Very excited. But we'll give her some time before we get started. Also, I gotta change to this art. What am I doing? Gotta get on that. Something like that. Sure. Works for me. I don't have any music on in the background, like for you all to hear. So feel free to put on a playlist or a live radio channel or something, or some of your favorite tunes. Currently listening to a 80s Japanese city pop playlist. Basically what I did last time. Love city pop. Great genre. If you haven't listened to city pop, recommend city pop. Yo, Goldstorm, what's up? Wish the timing worked out better for me with these Thursday night streams, but I'll try to at least show up for the start of these more often. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate like any time spent here. Yeah, I mean this time just kind of works the best for me. Like the only other times I could probably do like during the week would be Wednesday, but I've just kind of settled on Thursday for my stream nights. You know, I like to keep it consistent, at least for like the audience. But you know, the streams are always going to be available to watch afterwards. So if you want to watch it or just have it on the background after the fact, that's always an option. I probably won't start this till maybe we hit 10 minutes or so. I don't think I'm going to make this as long as the last two. I am starting this slightly later than I would prefer to start these, but we will be fine. If I can at least mentally prepare some of these cards. So if anyone really enjoys Pharaonic Guardian, definitely let me know. At least if you enjoyed as much as I do, anyway. There are some pet cards from this set. Moisture Creature was a favorite boss monster for me, alongside closer, alongside Cosmo Queen, due to its crazy stat long and the Feather Duster effect and its mysterious art. The Cosmo Queen's really cool looking. And Moisture Creature is really neat. Where is that bloke at? Where's that Moisturous being? There you are. Yeah, it's really weird. I know Ishizu uses it a lot in the video games. It's definitely a weird. We got another like similar card too. I think it's yeah. Guilford the Lightning is like the the brother of this card. A question is wild. I wish this card was actually good, but it's such a fun idea and just a fun art and everything. I've always dig it. I mean, you've seen a lot of my videos. Just having a card that's just called Question, great for videos if for someone that uses a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh art. Which I think I use some art from this game, from this set. I use that. I use Secret Pass of the Treasures. I use on occasion. I feel like there might be another one. I should probably use more though. They're fun. Hey, Guild Wars is really cool. It's a shame he's not GOAT legal, but the OCG is legal though. So Feather Duster's better value right off. Yeah, but Feather Duster's. I mean, that's incredibly powerful. Absolutely. Yo, Mus, what's up? Cosmic Queen, I think, is fusion of two Lady of Faith and duels of the Roses. Falsebound Kingdom. So I think it's Falsebound Kingdom. I believe what you're thinking of is Dark Elf and Mystical Elf. That is the fusion for Cosmic Queen. The Doctor, what? What's up? I like Guardian Sphinx. I had when I was younger with some other Sphinx cards like Exot. Oh yeah, that was 2006. I love the Exot deck. Guardian Sphinx is such a cool card. If you don't know, there's actually a retrain of this card came out a year or two ago called Pharaonic Guardian Sphinx. It looks badass. No doubt named after this set. So if you enjoy Guardian Sphinx and you don't know about that card, look that up. Pharaonic Guardian Sphinx. Now this card, I mean, again, peak Yu-Gi-Oh! Egypt. There you go. You got the Egyptian stuff. You got the Gravekeepers. You got the zombies that come to life, and it's little grave robbers too. Don Zalug and the Dark Scorpion Burglars. Love it. Death traps too. Like set's so good. They just shuffled around what video game promos cards came out with what Goat would look so different. Yeah. And then that is a really important thing you brought up too. Just how Upper Deck. I don't know if they necessarily had the say so on like what cards they could release as promos. They possibly had everything to do with it. Possibly it could have been a Konami thing, like drip feeding them. It's like, okay, you can. I don't know, but it's definitely an interesting thing to think about. How possibly they we could have got totally different promos at totally different times, which could have greatly changed the game. Like we could have got in tins, Foolish Burial, Doom Caliber Knight, Goblin Zombie, Sixth Sense, like absurd cards for the time. I mean, I really wish I mean, Xerion aside, I wish we got the 2005 tin cards because imagine we got Rocket Warrior and Panther Warrior and Guildford. Like, yeah, they're not busted, but it would have made the format just slightly more spicy, and that's what keeps me awake at night, I suppose. Yo, Lee, what's up? What's going on? Got a Blue Eyes White Dragon synchro monster called Blue Eyes White Dragon synchro monster called Vagnawa the Moon Eating Dragon. Is that a real card? It's wild. Problems with the audio? I feel like it shouldn't. I'm listening back, and it does not seem like there's any issues on my end. Perhaps check your audio settings or maybe refresh the page. Yeah, what's up, K Jordan? What's up? Yeah, the GBA games. Yeah, the GBA games technically go off the OCG card pool. That's why you play a game like Eternal Dual Soul and they have exclusive cards that we did not get yet because they were available overseas. Yo, Darkwing, what's up? Squeak, oi, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Vagnao. That sounds familiar. Yeah, yeah, I see. It's not released yet. Okay, hot take: British Office is better than the American Office. I said it. Yeah, Vagnawa the Moon Eating Dragon released in Phantom Nightmare. Yeah, he just came out. He just came out. Filipino mythology. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, Dark, I'm glad you can make it. Yo, prophecy phrase. What is up? I dig the star in the name. What's up, Janjo? First time on your streams and playing Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship on my DS of late. And these cards are so memorable. Can't believe stuff like Neck Rally came from this set. Yeah, no, I mean, Necro Valley was like the first modern field spell. We didn't get many modern field spells. I would say the first modern field spell was Dragon Ravine, but like this and Zombie World, crazy. Oh, Ancient Gears. I I haven't played much Edison, but Ancient Gears was one of the decks I played. I played that. I think it was like a Machina Ancient Gear deck I played for a little bit. Had a lot of fun with that. Daddy Janjo and the Skeletal Boners. I did a video like 4 years ago. That was top 10 boners in Yu-Gi-Oh. A very older video, but that was funny. Ancient cool. Yeah, Ancient Gears are really cool. I mean, it's a big rust. I mean, there's a deck in GX. It was like an Ancient Gear like gadget deck called that. I think it also used just like a machine toolbox general build. It's called a Rusty Bucket of Bolts. The Angels are definitely really neat just because they're like they're machines, but they're really old, but they're all like soldier related, and yeah, they're like GX made them look giant. Love that. Buster Rancher is another one. Chica low power monster. I think most Rancher is kind of bad. Janjo waiting for a premium pack OCG in the mail for weeks now. Oh no, that's terrible. I tell you what though, I ordered something like 2 weeks ago, and it said it arrived. It did not arrive. It was not anywhere. It has still yet to be anywhere. I sent a claim to FedEx. I had sent a mess. I sent a thing to eBay. I sent a message to the seller on eBay. So hopefully I can get my money back because otherwise I am out like $200, and that is I'm kind of peeved on that. Hopefully that's not the case. My first two dangers are great. You can get pretty much all of them for cheap. I think. Ancient gear sci-fi fantasy genres like Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, that's fair. Like it is. I mean, it's it'd be. I think it'd be cool if we had like an ancient gear kind of thing, but it was like more Egyptian oriented. Or is that what was that like Triamid or whatever? Is that kind of like that? You paid 90. Ugh. I hope you get it. I had a coworker send me some dice because we got some extra dice for this like promotional thing we were doing last year, and it got stuck at like the shipping center, and has just never left. It's just been stuck there forever. That one I did not pay money for, and my coworker got his money back at least because he claimed. But yeah, I would hate to be out 200. There's a chance I might get like a FedEx check thing for like 100, but that's still like I still be 100 out. That's even assuming I even get the check. I mean, shipping sucks, but you know, I know they're all doing the best work given all the craziness that their jobs have. Rancher is really narrow in its applications. I remember like Rancher like at the time, like this kind of felt like the first set where people were really complaining about the cards getting too complicated. And I feel like cards like Question and Reasoning and Buster Rancher and Futurist, like very long-winded text, was really kind of starting to rub players the wrong way. Don't we don't mention Tria? Is Tria like really bad? Cool art, but the effects are so bad. I mean, sometimes I appreciate decks like that. I have a soft spot for Hazy Flame. I gotta say, Legacy of Destruction is gonna make AG amazing. Aren't they getting like a new card in that Whatnot auction? Oh, I might. I need to get back on that. I might be having this like thing with Whatnot, this like ambassador program thing. I was talking to a rep from that. I don't think I've heard back from them. Should probably follow up with that. Yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh cards are going to get more complicated, and we've seen that, with the OCG Series 3 changing the box art, like the text thing from like this big to the whole like bottom half, and then even with problem solving card text that changed like a ton too, just to have more real estate to put cards effects in. Relinquish probably the first card that had a huge amount of text. Yeah, Relinquish and Tunes. Like Tunes had a ton, but that was kind of because they had a lot of prerequisites. It was the OG premium pack with black and gold. That sounds sexy. Dream Mirrors. Yeah, there's a lot of decks I enjoy that aren't particularly good. But I also don't play like modern meta stuff. I do play modern stuff. It's just casual, whatever I think looks fun. Avermax is really good. That card's affordable. I think I have the original secret rare print of Avermax. Pendulum. I don't think Konami knows what Pendulum does. Like pendulums are definitely a concept, and I do think Konami kind of regrets it. I think it was maybe a bit too complicated. I kind of see what they're going for, right? They wanted to have like a whole new, like, essentially a new game in the game, but perhaps their scope was just too much for them to ultimately handle. Yeah, Toon DNG, but that's great though. I mean, honestly, someone brought this up a couple streams ago, but Toon World really should have just have included some of the effects on that instead of putting on every single card. Pendulum quit. So did you quit during like Pepe or like later Pendulum? Because if it's Pepe, I understand. Like I don't play much. Like I think some of the I do enjoy a couple Pendulum decks, at least in retrospect, stuff like Cliffort and Magispector, and I have a Spellcaster Pendulum deck. I don't think I ever got around to playing because it's just so complicated. But it's definitely Pendulums. Like they still have a lot of really cool cards that if you know how to play them, I think they can be crazy fun because like that's something that they work when you put the time into it. Yeah, Pepe makes sense. Pepe is one of like the most like degenerate decks though, and to be fair, for Kami's credit, they emergency hit that because that's all you saw, and it was like one turn kill, like all the like it was nuts. Speaking of Magic, something I've been wondering about is the equivalent of one of my favorite Yugioh cards, One with Nothing. It's a one mana card's effect is discard to your hand. Sometimes you're one with nothing, sometimes you're Professor Oak. You won the auction? Hell yeah. I was going to do an auction yesterday, but I got preoccupied. I didn't get to win the auction or place my bid, which was unfortunate. Yeah, the combos. Yeah, pendulums are like crazy, but at least now it's like all in your spell and trap card. But there's so much pendulum support, it's kind of nutty that there's so many like generic pendulum support, which is nice. But definitely like the change like master rules and stuff really affected the game plan, which made them not as good, which and then I think eventually turned to like pretty bad. But you still see decks pop up time to time from pendulums. Like I think the magician one is probably one of the more popular ones. Like remember when like heavy metal foes, like or metal foes was like really big. I mean, I always like the the whole thing with like the normal pendulums. Like that sounds kind of fun, you know. Have something that's a little more simpler. Like the thing with pendulums that you can really choose what level of complication you want, right? You can have something a little simpler ran like a Dino Mist, or you can go like full all in with spell counters. Managed to win a foil bleed misprint of the legendary collection GX Cyber End Dragon. Ooh, that's exciting. Should post a picture on my Discord. Cheerful Coffin is similar. It's less than 3 monster from air to grave. Yeah, Cheerful Coffin has people have messed around with that with Dark World, which I think is really fun. Like it's definitely an interesting card. Like we talked about in my Metal Raiders video. Dogwood finally got, and our boy Gores as well as Stardust. Spooky dark Dogwood. So I'm just gonna throw ring instruction here in S and trap dust shoot. Mirage and Nightmare. Anything that's banned or has been banned should go on there. Spirit Reaper, the People's Goat. Yo, what's up, Lid? I apologize, Led Lover. So the chat's like pretty far away from me. Honestly, I can. It's a little hard to read some of the names. Lead Lover. Aha. Spirit Reaper is really good. Is Pharaonic Guardian the one with Gravekeeper? It sure is. Look at all these boys here and gals. First set to have him. Metamorphosis. Sasuke, yeah, Sasuke Samurai is really cool because it's the early Mystic Swordsman. I'm a big fan of the second one, even if it's just for the art. But we gotta at least get Sasuke Samurai, the original one. It's definitely a little slept on at this point. Shape Nash. That's is extremely powerful. Only in he's really only trouble in groups. WC09 on DS. Gravekeepers. Beware the Shape Snatch. Yeah, Gravekeepers are like they're really good, but sometimes they're bad. Which is it sounds stupid to say, but it kind of makes sense if you think about it. The snatch has been shaped. Like on paper, they're really good. A lot of cool stuff that they do, but sometimes just the meta is just like they had their time in the sun, right? Within like 2010, 2011 Yu-Gi-Oh. But they're definitely a little more meta dependent and depending on where the card pool is at with them too. Goman, that makes sense. Don't count Vampire Lord. I mean, he's at least like Dracula, you know. He's at least a Dracula. Was Royal Tribute banned? It was not. I'm just checking on some cards. I'm a little sussed on. Necker Rally was not. Lava Golem was. I'm pretty sure it was not. No, Lava Golem was never even hit. Vampire Lord's like someone's OC. True, true though. Some say I'm very quiet. All right, how about now? Am I better? I'm talking like a little bit quieter. I feel like my voice is like a little but I did just raise it up a bit. I mean, doesn't JDZ isn't he also in love with Tsukiyomi, who's a dude? Little better. All right. Oh, that's okay. I'm hitting the yellow bar, so this should be relatively better. Kind of want to hit that like that sweet spot. Also, I don't want to like blow out the microphone either. Let's see, terraforming. I don't think terraforming was banned. Why would you ban that card? Exactly, you wouldn't. That's why. Uh, Donnie was never banned. That might be it for potentially banned cards. Reaper was not. Book of Moon, perhaps? Well, Tsukiyomi's a spirit, right? But isn't God of Moon? Well, I suppose in mythology it's a dude, but in Naruto it's a jutsu, so take what you will. Yeah, terraforming was like there's some of these cards are like limited. I'm just trying to remember. I think we've hit all the banned cards. Meh, what's simp anyways? I mean, everyone's got that one trap, right? Is that PC? Should I not be saying that? I mean, everyone's got one. They're like, yeah, but they still look hot. I mean, lava golem though, that guy's hot. That guy's smoking hot. I gotta say. Oh no, he's hot. Not the best word. Okay, I'll avoid using it. But this is why I ask. If I don't know, then I don't know any better. Reasoning never banned. Okay, that's the last one I think is worth checking. So yeah, so all these are all definitely the S tier cards for sure. That's hot. Lava Golem was a precursor to Gamma Seal. Yeah, Kaiju's just tributing over Neo Arnold Palmer. Someone get these boys a Cosmopolitan. Yeah, anything that tributes over, great. And he was original. You need two monsters. That's kind of makes him a little more iffy than some other ones. Like the Kaiju. But he still has his use, though. I mean, burn damage, 3k attack. Gotta love it. Volcanic Queen. Wanna be a lava golem? If only. Volcanic support when? Lava golem should get an archetype. I want like little lava soldiers. A lava dragon. Like a big. I guess Volcanics kind of is like the lava golem archetype in a way. Yeah, we did. We finally did get volcanic support, which is funny. I'd say lava golem is A. I gotta like pace this right enough because I feel like usually I feel like I'm going too fast, and then I just go to the other way and go too slow, and then I'm like 4 hours and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta wrap this up. I don't know how people do like 12-hour streams because my voice, it's like by the time we hit like 3 4 hours, I'm shot. I gotta be guzzling water. I need like a milkshake every stream. Every stream, Janjo needs milkshake. Janjo need milkshake. So if you want to make that happen, make sure to donate. Uh, how much does a milkshake cost? Like $5. I forgot to put ice in this. Oh no, this is like normal water. Green melon halls. Remember those? Yeah, I had this can. It was like a pine candy this past Monday, and it tasted like cough drops. Like no lie. But maybe cough drops. Is that the way to go? I feel like I need to ask people, or at least look up what people do for longer streams. I think it'd be fun to do long streams. I don't like my. I mean, I love you guys, but I don't think the majority of people would watch like my long streams. But I think that'd be fun to do at least like once in a while, right? Do like a long stream. Though I don't know what I would do. Would have to like play a game or something. Though I've thought about playing like video, like just general video games, not just like Yu-Gi-Oh related stuff. But that might be more of a thing for like my Twitch channel that I barely ever touch. I don't know if I just keep it on here. I don't know what works with people the best. That might be more of a poll thing to put out in the future. When Joey was trapped in Nightmare Steel cage while the lava. Oh yeah, that was sick. Well, yeah, that's the cage in Lava Golem's artwork. Like that's basically Joey right there. Like that's badass, right? Like the whole point is that it drips lava on you, but it can also punch. Like that's the burn damage. Like it's in the art. Thanks, Takahashi. You know how to design stuff, I suppose. See, Book of Moon, definitely a. I feel like there's like going to be a chunk of A tiers here. Terraforming. Though some of them I'm a little questioned on whether it's like A or B. Spy's an A. Maybe even S. I don't know. I feel like terraforming, like this is regard to terraforming, right? I feel like terraforming is like obviously it's really good. It's really generic to search out like anything, which is crazy. But it's also not like every deck necessarily needs it that run field spells. I feel like Rhoda is like it's much better in regards to that you can access many different things that can help you out in the game. Whereas this like essentially searches one thing. Book of Life. It's very good. Book of Life is really good too. I don't think it's A tier because you do need setup for it. And there also, as the game goes on, there's just a ton of revival cards, but still really good. Let's see here. Yeah, this might be a little tricky, honestly. I think Reaper is A. I think Reaper has proven time and time and again. It's just solid. It was like B for a decade. This might be a little tricky dicky. Cause like I would say Cobazol's is B tier just because like Dino Rabbit, but does but should he possibly be C tier just because of like he was only really played for its slightly attack and a target, right? For his like stats, not necessarily him like being like a good card by itself. All right, see you later, Goldstorm. Yeah, Warrior Toolbox. Donald Z B for blowing his nose. All right, yeah, Donald's tricky. I feel like Donald's B, like he's good, absolutely, but I won't say he's like he defines like the decks he's in. Aside from speed duels, but we're not counting speed duels. Old Donald Z, the Donnie Salami. I mean, there's definitely an argument for A, but I feel like B is a little more fitting for him. Like, if you compare him to Spirit Reaper, I think Spirit Reaper beats him out more cases than not for defensive purposes. Although you could have the argument that they could be tied together. Like, I'm open to suggestions. But I feel like the impact of Donald is like he had impact like he had impact in the meta when the set came out. But I think as the formats go on, Reaper kind of shows it's a little more utility with its defensive build than Donald does. Because Donald's typically a card that if you need a cut, you can cut it, you know, and just place with a different warrior. Gun version, yeah. Well, this is the gun art right here, the lost art. That one's cool. That's the thing. He's not the piece that makes any deck work. He's good for willing away your opponent. Yeah, like he's a great supporting card, which I think is a good place for a B tier. He makes good decks better, but he doesn't make a good deck. Yeah, like he doesn't define Grave or Dark Scorpions as a deck, but as like hand control or anti-meta warriors or stuff like that. Like you pull it and it's like okay, cool, got Don Zalug, but he's not going to define the deck in any way. I definitely like him though. I tried so hard to pull this card back in the day, Don Zalug. I could never pull him. Never pulled him. So when I finally got a copy for my book here, I was like super thrilled. I don't remember what number card he is. Where is this bloke at? There he is. Ultra rare. Hell yeah. I think Reckless is a. Don's Lucas because walking. Hey, what you doing? Hey, you want to hear my Christopher Walken impression? Honestly, I think Reasoning is A tier too. Like Reckless, any draw decks love this card. Reasoning, it was the engine for like so many decks for like such a long time. I remember when spell books became an archetype in was Return of the Duelist. There's some people that actually were using like a reasoning build of spell books, like spell books prophecy deck. But then you got like Reasoning Gate Turbo and just general Reasoning Gate or just reasoning decks and a DDT. Like so much fun stuff with it. I'd have gone for custom artwork with the one and then the dagger. Yeah, I didn't put this together. This is like just already on tier list maker. But I enjoy both arts. Some well rounded. One with the gun, one with a dagger would be kind of cool, though. Not gonna lie about that. Love the minigame card. Yeah, it's like it's a minigame. Your opponent can have some fun with it. It's like question or reversal quiz. Which speaking of reversal quiz, I think for the reversal quiz OTK, I'll put that in B. I think it's degenerate enough to earn a spot, but it's never too terribly prevalent to be on like past that. I had a headache earlier. As soon as I ate food, drank water, like I'm good now. The last two, I think, because the last 2 days, the coffee I made, I think I made it stronger than I really had any right to make it. Like when I make coffee, I grind the beans, I got the pour over, the whole 9 yards. I need to do like an all day stream. Lava Golem, yo, Bobby Barrow. What's up, Lava Golem? Still hood? Oh, absolutely. Top of the A. It's JDZ's A right there. What is going on? I should do like an all day stream at some point. I don't know what I would do though. That'd be fun though. Like eat breakfast and shit here. Like all my meals. 24-hour stream. I can barely do a 4-hour stream. Are you gonna do that 7-hour, 72-hour master thing? Don't know what that is. Probably no. Get the stream bucks. Hey, if people donate enough for it. Did my webcam freeze? Did my freaking webcam freeze? Excuse me. Webcam. It's still on. I'm gonna unplug and replug it back in. Hey, if enough people like donate money like on a consistent basis, I'm plugging it back in now. Um, let's see. Let's see if I can. That's weird. I At least the audio still works, and that's more important than anything, I suppose. Let's see. Too caffeinated. Well, I'm not caffeinated right now. I've been drinking nothing but water. Oh, come on, webcam. Let's see. Yo, Ma, what's up? The actual OG set? Yeah. I'm trying to fix my webcam right now. It just like randomly crashed. That's so weird. Cause I'm definitely frozen. I was frozen today. Never mess with a man's camera. I've been shape snatched. I've been smeckledorfed. Okay, let's try this. Um, what happens if I? All right, I'm gonna delete the webcam. That's weird. Now, like the light isn't even like coming back on Streamlabs. What is going on? Ugh. Why does it gotta happen like during the stream? Right? Of like all things to go like haywire. I think possibly restart my computer, but now it's just going kaput. So maybe I'll do this for now. Let's see. I'm gonna just slap on an image. And then this should be all good and dandy for the time being. Let's see. Do. Yeah, VTuber. Yeah, where's my Yu-Gi-Oh VTuber thing? Oh wait. Oh, okay. I gotta put it something like this. I will donate to change the image to a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I will accept donations for that. How about that? Does that look good? Look, Ma, I'm live. And I a handsome boy. I'm so fast it can't be seen on camera. Zooted off, zooted off the double dose of pre-workout. I didn't even work out today. I worked out yesterday. Looks like Jaden. Get your game on. I've always been more of a Jesse person, you could say. Ready to future summon flame swordsman. Oof. Ouch. I only have like a couple of like photos of me for YouTube. I need to get like a whole new like thing, I feel. I like to live life fast and dangerously. In fact, danger is my middle name if you didn't know. It's actually Jesse or Janjo Danger Zone. That's the actual name of the channel. I've been living in the danger zone. I think Royal Tribute's a B tier. Gee, I wonder if let me see. What's the Razer Synapse? I think that's the thing that like runs my webcam stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, where is it? Where is it? What the hell was the source? Webcam. Where's webcam? Not display capture. Wait, there it is. That is weird. I open up the Razer thing and I move around in it. It works. But Streamlabs, all of a sudden, interesting. Interesting. What if I deactivate and activate it? I don't think it wants. This is so bizarre. Man, this is something else, I tell you. All right, what card should we look at next though? While we're figuring this out. Mucus Yolk. This guy, what does he even do? The yolk. This disgusting blob. I have to look up what this card does because I could not tell you what Mucus Yolk. Oh god, what is this? The card may attack your opponent's life points directly. Each time it inflicts battle damage, increases attack by 1,000 points during your next standby phase. Does it even count if it inflicts 0 battle damage, though? That's the thing, right? Does it even work like it's supposed to? I mean, you gotta wait standby phase just to get to 1,000 attack? That... Yeah, you need something to get it started. Ugh, no, that's disgusting. Get away. Yolk can get the F out. It's the breakfast of card design. Or clearly they designed it within an hour. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Do not look at the man behind the curtain. It is just a Janjo. Oh no. Oh no, I'm back. I've got to fix it. Oh no. Ah! Red alert! Red alert! Ah! I'm shrinking. Ah! I told you I'd fix it. In two of my jobs in the past, I have been honorary tech support, so I take that very pr- pridefully. Hey, I'm back. Hey, Opa, Mazel Tov. And then everyone leaves. They don't want to see my ugly ass. All right. Now I'm really hot. I'm wearing a fucking sweater. I should just take all my clothes off. I don't know if anyone want to see that though. Me without all of this drip, this Riz, whatever they call it nowadays. I'm hip. I'm cool with the lingo. Yeah. Macarena. Macarena. Big fat Greek. Hey, speaking of the Greeks, I'm a very avid John Stamos supporter. And I will only take off my clothes if people donate money. But it's gotta be good money though. It's gotta be good money. All right, let's see. Necro Valley's A. I would argue. I don't know how biased I'm gonna be towards this set, but we'll see. I think once I found out that like my app thing for like my camera and my keyboard and stuff was like working, I think this camera just needed some time to reboot or something. I don't know. I can not honestly tell you what the ultimate issue is. I feel like once we get like the A's and B's out of the way, it's really gonna start dropping in quality. I do think Guardian Sphinx is a C tier. Janjo hit was Sorcerer revealing a light. Yeah, I was out for 3 turns, and then that was just it. Swords of Digital Light. Yeah, I think I really like Guardian Sphinx. I just feel like he never quite does enough, given that he's like a tribute, like reflipper monster. So I feel like that's probably a good baseline for like a B tier card. With that regard, Sphinx getting you schmixed. Sphinx gets you schmixed. So B. Do other people agree with this? What are we thinking about Guardian Sphinx? B or C? For this Guardian Sphinxster. Haha. Because I think it does not do as much as these cards do, right? And these cards don't do as much. I definitely love Guardian Sphinx. I think more people should play it, but it's like a card that it works in very specific decks, right? Like doesn't work particularly well in like a standard deck per se. And so I see another B, but like compared to like other cards that just kind of get the job done better, right? Like if you're going to tribute, you might prefer something like Jinzo or Zaborg or Blowback Dragon or like Air Knight. But then the kind of stally decks already have plenty of stuff to use, right? Um, but people are saying B, so I'll put it in B. I think Neil Sealing. I think similar things. It's C because this is like a side deck card basically. So it has like specific uses. I just love the art of the set. Raigeki Break is kind of an interesting one. Raigeki Break, that could be A or B. I'm leaning towards A. But who's to say? Break is like an A, good A for sure. Yeah, it was good for like a long time. I don't recall when it like dropped off, but I get rid of a card, to pop a card. I mean, that's always power. I love the shit out of Raigeki Break back in the day. I will say this was like in every deck I had. A tier target removal, Great and Burning Abyss, like Xyz area. I'm trying to think because like I'm in the Zexal era of my history series. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think A is perfectly fair. Esteban, what's up? DLC only was like the poor man's mirror force. The versatile also worked like a torrential tribute. Yeah, it essentially worked with decks that liked a lot of spam summoning, like against like Go Control, or even like years later when you look at stuff like Shocklock windups, it's really good against them. Where you had to get like a bunch of combo stuff on the field to get a bunch of like Xyz and whatnot. I mean, even like pendulums, right? It could be like a good counter to them. Like people were using this even just like a few years ago. Shit, now I'm talking myself into it. I'm putting that up to B. Talking myself into that. Criminy. This card's definitely C tier, only because it has seen in Kairushin decks as like a card that you can summon and it constitutes as Yumi, which has come into play before. So I'm fine with that. Yeah, windups. Yeah, I mentioned that a little bit ago. Yeah, yeah. Anything that summons on mass, like it's good against. And yeah, it is like torrential tribute. It's a little more specific, but it's surprising people still use it. I got a live radio in the background now. 24/7 calm lo-fi hip hop and chill visuals. Alone in Japan. Likes chill music for a chill night stream. There's gonna be some interesting cards here. Nightmare Wheel, I think just for like it being like a really good burn card for a while. That's a B. B for burn, right? Let's see. Yeah, there's definitely tricky ones here. Like Pyramid Turtle, B. King Tiger, B. And I think, are we not speaking about Maiden of the Aqua having Illyrs robbed because localization? Hey, I didn't say it, but you said it. That's all. I'll leave that. I mean, she's a she's going to stay in C, but she's a solid B. if if you know what I mean. She can mate in my Aqua any day. And that is not a prediction, that is a spoiler. Yo, Valuta, Toa of Unknown Element. What is up? What's your favorite Toa? I like the ice one, Kopaku. Oh, Kopaka. Was it Kopaka? When the booster is very Egyptian. Yeah, when the dev team actually went to Egypt the one time. Hustler, Horse, Rudiger, Yo, Janjo. What's up? What's going on? How's the hustle life going, my friend? Hustle, loyalty, respect. That's what I'm all about. Neither UPFP is unique. You see that I think it came out last year. It was a Super Mario 64 ROM hack that was Bionicle themed. It was like uh, I keep forgetting his name. The dude from the Bionicle movie. Um yeah, Kopaka. Yeah, I keep for a long time I thought it was Kopaku until my a friend told me like back in the fall it was Kopaka. I would love a Kopaka tattoo. That'd be sick. Cuz that was the one I had. And I had like the comic books and stuff too. Like I was super into Bionicle. But my parents only like my family only got me the one ice one. That was it. Like it'd be so cool if I just had like all of them right here. Pretty over pretty over hustled at the moment. I'm eh, a coworker said that we're in a work apocalypse right now. um it's I'm good right now. It's gonna get really busy in early March. Like early March I am gonna be pretty busy. I'm gonna be in DC filming a Dungeons and Dragons show at a station. So the first 2 weeks, which by the way, I guess heads up. So after next week, the first 2 weeks of March. So first 2 weeks of March, I will not have a stream because I will be out. But I will make sure content's posted, and I'll try and prepare community posts and all that stuff by the time I'm away. But that should be fun. I'm usually pretty good though with like in terms of like hustling and like making sure like my work's like done within reason without making my head explode. Like I can cut corners if I need to, but still keep up the quality. I think that's a really important skill to have. Now, of course, it depends on job to job. Like I'm a professional video editor, so a lot of it's kind of more on me than anything else. I remember my surprise in realizing how and why I got past the prune sensors. Work apocalypse. That project sounds like a good kind of hustle. Yeah, it should be fun. Like I'm my main thing there is to work on sound as well as like to help out with all the other like AV stuff. Um, that should be fun. It's something different. It was like fan funded and everything like that. And it should be like a legit thing. Should be a lot of fun. We get to stay at like an Airbnb like McMansion for like 2 weeks because we have to house like the entire people. Has anyone seen the show Zero Punctuation? By the way, on YouTube. The book, the two books I'm kind of contemplating on. I feel like these are also B. Book of Life and Taiyu. Water's good. Drink water, my friends. All I drink is like water and coffee and occasionally tea. I honestly rarely ever drink soda. And if I do, it's typically Sprite. I feel like it's like Sprite, Dr. Pepper, and then like something else I'm really craving it, like a Fanta or a Coke or something. But I usually try and drink Sprite though, at least, because I it's better to drink something that doesn't have all that coloring syrup in it. Some LaCroix. I can't do LaCroix. I've had LaCroix, just sparkling water and stuff. It just doesn't do it for me. Which because I feel like that's all my friends ever have at their places are like LaCroix. It's like, nah, can't do that. Like, I'm usually perfect fine with water. Does the job for me. But that's just me. Hawaiian Punch though, like when I was a kid, I did not drink soda at all. But Hawaiian Punch, like the red shit, love that. On a Friday night with some frozen pizza. Shit raised me. Raised me. I think this might be it for like the S and A tier cards. Hawaiian Punch was cracked back in the day. Yeah, I feel like whenever I have it now, it's like it's way too sugary and kind of gross, which I guess applies to a lot of stuff you liked as a kid. But like, it'll always play a special place in my heart. Oh, actually, no soda. If I had to pick one soda to drink, and I would say Sprite just like in regards to like the common soda, but if I had to go out of my way to drink a soda, cream soda all the way. I fuck with cream soda. I would drink so much cream soda if I could, if it didn't have like so much sugar in it. Because like I'll look once in a blue moon, I'll look in the grocery store at the soda aisle and just look at the sugar and like, nope, put that down. Can't like that's insane. But cream soda though, fuck man, that they got something right when the scientists invented that in their soda lab at Wonka Studios. Cactus cooler, I've never heard of that. The heck's a cactus cooler? Besides the cola stuff, we have nothing of the things you guys mentioned over here. I know some of the stuff like overseas and stuff is like rebranded as some other thing. But cream soda though, I feel like that kind of describes itself, right? It's just like a creamy soda. So good. Cali based. Okay, that makes sense. I'm on the East Coast. Actually, I have some coworkers that are going to Cali, late March. I was at Cali last year. I was at in San San Francisco, I believe. Pouring rain. Pouring rain. I filmed some stuff over there. It's my second week at that job too. They flew me out there. Dude, nothing would make my kids stuff happier than knowing that Janjo of last year got to go hang out with the Crash Bandicoot devs at their hotel. Try some recommend cactus cooler. I'll look it up. Germany will make her own Floyd's orange juice. Yo, that sounds good. You gotta tell me how you do that. It's like orange pineapple. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Like making my own soda, that'd be fun. Be a fun thing to do on stream. Oh yeah, you can get like a whole neat. I can buy it online. I don't want to spend $40 on Amazon though, unless someone donates $40. But I ain't. It even loads. Orange juice. It's the miracle juice for kids. Yeah, I love orange juice. You remember Sunny D? That was the shit. I do really like orange juice. So like, if I like, that's my go-to juice. If I get a juice, it's orange. I can get a 6 ounce 12 pack for 16.95. Caffeine free, large bottle. Like this. OJ tier list. Yo, soda tier list when? Just this what you're talking about? Cactus. Yeah, it's so expensive though. Like, so there's a pineapple, and then there's a cactus cooler one. $40. I ain't spending that money. I can get like a 12 ounce, 12 pack, orange pineapple blast. Why can't I just buy like a 4-pack dirt soda? You know what the grossest thing soda I've ever had? It was Buffalo Wing soda, and guess what it tastes like? It tasted like soap. Oh, I'm sure it's like cheap where you can actually get it. They have to like probably custom get this stuff all around. First edition can. Yeah, can I if I drink this, will I get the secret rare one? Donate $22 and I'll buy this. There's definitely cards New Doria is an interesting one, I think. New Doria, he's good. He's good. I don't know about you guys, but I'm vibing tonight. I think that food I ate this afternoon was like what I needed. It's just like a couple like two slices of pizza, some fruit, and some like crackers with like a dip. It wasn't even like much. I need to get some custom like animations and stuff on here too. Can you put some time aside for that? It's so hard. YouTubing is hard. Yobi Ship is like on the same boat with New Doria too. On the same boat. I made a joke. I didn't even realize it. Crazy me. Even some of like the Gravekeepers, I'm like, you could put like Spear Soldier and Assailant on kind of a different tier than others. Like Curse, Watcher. I don't even know if about. Mm, yeah, it's tricky. It's so tricky. It's so hard to do. Though definitely, as much as I hate to do this, Great Dizard and Fushio Richie, Rich, definition of F tier. Because like the thing is, Rich is like really good, but it's impossible to summon. I bought Fuchsia Richie in a pack at GameStop during tourney. I asked the judge if I could summon Richie would call a mummy, and dude was like, I guess. I changed my deck. The turn what? Oh, yo, Penguin King, what is up? Yeah, that would change everything. Like, I did a duel on Yugioh from Zero's channel where we did a Fuchsia Richie mirror match, and the last game he actually summoned Fuchsia Richie, and when he summoned, I'm like, crap, I actually don't know how to take care of this thing. Is actually really good, but it's so impossible to summon. Like, I'll put it in D tier, honestly. Like, I think if you like Dizard is definitely the choke point because his attack is really low. He's a tribute. Like his stats don't even match what his effect should be. His stats should be flipped, attack and defense. Like you need to destroy a monster, but then Richie is actually like really good. Yeah, there's a lot of like dumb rulings back in the day. Judges like think they know better. I think a famous one is like Guardian KS, which if you look at a deck around like 2004 or 5 era, like during like the GOAT format period, there was a card with Guardian KS, and that was because there was like at one event there was a ruling, uh, a false ruling that it was ruled otherwise at that event that really changed the card. I think it's F. Like Futuristic can like keep bringing stuff back, and it has good stats. Like it's actually scary like once you summon it out, but that's just like the hard part. And I feel like it's not totally fair to give it an F rank just because of that. When like the stem of the problem is this guy. Like if Richie didn't not have summoning requirements, I think people would definitely run him in zombie decks for sure. And for what it's worth, I get what they're going for with the card. With this guy being like an evil dude and killing people, and then he when he dies, he gets reborn as this like vile eldritch zombie. I definitely dig that. Like that's really cool. See, Dark Dust Spirits, I think is a C tier card. This card once in a while we'll see play in like some like olderish formats, like even up to like Edison and stuff, depending on the deck. He's a little on the jankier end of things, I think. I would say Dark Druid C. He's also kind of like a weird card. Has some like weird usage. Just a lot of really cool cards, I think, in this set. I mean, I think we are starting to see though, just like card design just get better in general. Like, I don't think like there's barely any normal, like horrible normal monsters in this set. Like, yeah, you got like a couple here, like multiple behemoth, shape snatch, soul eater, but I mean, even like the other ones are like decent, right? Ooh, goodness gracious. It's gonna be so warm tomorrow. I'm very excited. It's gonna be like 9 degrees warmer. Last rain, it's been like pouring all night. But I think it stopped. Yeah, I think it stopped. That said, I do want to start tackling some of these Gravekeeper guys. Cobra Jar plus Junk Seeker is highly overlooked. I really enjoy Cobra Jar. I entered this like character tournament and I did a Rex Raptor deck, and Cobra Jar was pretty nice. I I do agree though, Esteban. He is probably a bit underrated. But I think until we see more, I think C tier is fine enough for him. Like just having a thing that can kind of replace himself with a token and also inflict burn damage is kind of neat. Like token, especially in the secret era, Dandelion, Fire of Doomsday, Scapegoat, things that can just generate tokens are like really cool. Except for Stray Lambs. That's the exception. I think so. This is going to be a little bit interesting. I think at least Vassal and Curse are F, even if like because this is not keeping speed duels. Like this is not including speed duels, but this card definitely goes up a chunk in speed duels. But we're not keeping that in mind. While I think is Cannon Holder D or F? I'm a wee bit split on that. I think Spear Soldier and Assailant at the very least are B, because they kind of like have definitely the best effects. I think guards I think guards in B too, and I think Chief. is C. Watcher can be used in the side deck. I feel like cannon holder is a D. This is what I'm thinking for the Gravekeepers. Spy is obviously the best, and I think the other three are definitely the ones that you see most often, just because of their versatility of like dealing with cards. The other ones feel like they have a totally different game plan with what Gravekeepers were intended for. Like Chief is good, but he's definitely a little bit of more of a win more card. And Watcher, I suppose you could like sometimes theoretically see. And at least this guy like does like decent burn damage. These other guys like they really just don't do anything. And that's my logic for that. I'm always open to interpretation. Let's see here. A lot of interesting cards. Yeah, New Doria. Where do I want New Doria? I feel like he might be B tier. I feel like just like the generic popping thing, and like Yomi Ship is basically the same thing. I think they're good enough as like targets to float into for B tier. So Mystical Knight of Jackal, I absolutely adore this card. This was like my boss monster back in the day. He does have a lot of issues, unfortunately. So the most I can put him up is C tier without like fooling myself. Like that's me being nice about it. By the way, I gotta say I have like a week or so in with these blackout curtains. Big fan of them. Big fan of them. Helps me work. Helps me sleep. It looks nice. It's a win-win. Love it. Card shuffle is F. This card is just it's so silly because it's so bad, right? Like we get card trader in GX, and that card's actually like okay. Like if this card was a quick play, like a continuous quick play kind of thing, or like continuous with a quick effect, that'd be a whole other issue at hand. Reaper on the Nightmare, another one I think is kind of worth discussing. Like he's also a card that's like it's good, but under like very certain circumstances. Like it is very rare I see it, but you do see it once in a blue moon. But is that worth like a C or is that worth a B? That's a tough question. There's definitely a few cards on here. I'm like not that many more cards, but there are some cards on here. I'm like a little iffy on their exact placement. Hieroglyph should be F. Man, I've never freaking was a hieroglyph lithograph or something like that. I do think these cards, because like the Pac-Man deck, should probably be B tier. The heck does the freaking hieroglyph thing do? Pay 1,000, get a hand size 7. That's that's already out of date. I mean, I guess because we have infinite cards by this point, right? But why you gotta pay 1,000? Like, why? Like, it's kind of cool in the regards that you don't need to have it stay on the field. But like, why would like one card matter? Like one extra card. Yeah, that's an F. That's that's pretty rough. Not gonna lie. Let's see. Banner of Courage during your battle phase, increase all your monsters by 200. I mean, that's okay, I guess. I mean, I feel like there are better cards to get like a wide boost, but it's like I can't say it's inherently bad because like there's no real downside to it per se. Like in regard to like it does give you a boost. Though I wish it was both battle phases though. It's a little dumb that's just the one. I guess that would be like Yo Hans, what's up? Yeah, I feel like that's like the one downside with it though. It has to be during your battle phase. I'm gonna put it down to D. Like the more I'm thinking about, the more I'm just like, why even play that? Like if the issue that you need attack over stuff, just run any other attack enhancing drug, you know? Let's see here. Oh, Birdface, yeah, it's the like Harpy Lady recruiter thing. Birdface is all right in terms of like Harpy Lady cards. Like it adds from deck to the hand. Like it's Shape Snatch S here. Tupac, what's up? Yeah, unfortunately, oh no problem. Plenty of time. If you ever want to go back to, the VOD's always available. See, Birdface. Birdface is like it's good for the Harpy deck. Like it searches it out. That feels B for Bird. It's definitely tough. Like what constitutes as like a C tier? I feel like it's more obscure cards than any. But with Birdface, like if you're running a Harpy deck, like there's no reason not to run it for the most part. Like for some time anyway. Best Harpy cards is Harpy's brother. Yeah, unfortunately he was an adopted brother, so he doesn't technically count. Let's see, Cryule, Cruel. When he's sent to when he's destroyed by battle, flip a coin, destroy a monster if you call it right. I mean, but why does he have 1,700 defense? I guess so. You probably can't like. I mean, it's D. I guess like it's bad, but it's not egregious. It's not horrendously egregious. Oh, excuse me. Arsenal Bug. If there are no insect monsters on your field except for that card, loses attack. But why? But why though? Why? That seems kind of bad, right? But I feel like I've seen a deck with Arsenal Bug. Like people have tried Arsenal Bug, right? And something. Or am I just mistaken? Not on top decks. Oh, yeah. I definitely see like at least from now up to like Ancient Sanctuary, the ranking these are definitely gonna be tougher than beforehand because now we're starting to see cards that have way more intricate effects, so breaking them down is gonna be a little tougher than just tossing a bunch of clearly bad cards. Like while like there are definitely ones in this set, are also a chunk of cards. It's like, is this technically good or bad or like where on the scale does this one lie? It's a little tough sometimes. Like servant of catabolism, attack directly. Like that's bad. I mean, I think he has one of the higher attacks for that line of monsters, though. I think he has the highest one, maybe tied with Jinzo number 7. Yeah, I guess it's not inherently trash. What was Nightmare Horse? He has the same thing, but I think it says less attack, right? Yeah, he can just attack directly. He only has 500. That's just kind of worse. Like if you're gonna play one, like no reason to play that one, I suppose. Or is it more fair to keep them together because the same thing basically? That's also a question to be had. But then like remember on the Nightmare. It's like now you got one down here and you got one up here. Reaper on the Nightmare. I think he's B tier. I think while you don't really see him out too often, I think the fact that he's still a contender for it with like a fine enough effect, I guess, is whatever. I think Master Kianchi is one of the few like strong zombie monsters for a bit, right? Like his stats are okay. Where's that wood and patchy guy? In patchy's kind of bad though. On the other hand, yeah, he seems. Yeah, he's definitely like his stats aren't the worst as far as it can go. So I can't say he's trash like some of the other vanillas. So I think that's probably fair enough. So this is the current list for anyone who's just joining in. I'm trying. I am finding that this set is surprisingly kind of hard to rank. So I'm sure some cards on here could potentially be like bumped up or down depending on like preference. But sometimes it's just hard to say. You know, Hell Poemer. Goodness, got a big old yawn. Like Hellpoemer, Hellpoemer is definitely a card that I look at. I'm like, this card seems like it should be better. 2K attack. Destroy a battle. As long as it's in the graveyard, punch discards one random card at the end of their battle phase. Can I special summon from the grave? Like he definitely seems like a card that is kind of good on paper. Like he needs to be destroyed by battle, and he has like that discard thing. And it's like it's a constant effect, right? I think such lag. There shouldn't be. I mean, I try to make this to be like as least laggy as I can. I have like ultra low latency, so I'm trying my best here. I was gonna say, yeah, like there's only so much I can do about it. I think Help Poemer is C. So also, what's up? History of YGO1. This is the current list. Oh, that's weird. Everything. I feel like it's fine on my end. Yeah, stream status excellent. Stream is healthy. Yeah, I mean, like, there's some cards that were hit too on this, right? I mean, I suppose like an empty jar decks, it's like pretty crucial, and those are more common than like reversal quiz. Yeah, I could live with that, I suppose. I'm finding this at like kind of challenging. I mentioned this earlier, but like we're definitely seeing a lot of cards have more intricate effects by this set, and not as many like outright horrendous cards. There are definitely plenty of bad cards in it, but some of them are like, well, how bad is this actually? It's interesting. It's very fascinating. Like there's definitely a shift between this and Legacy of Darkness. I'm noticing, which is for the better. Though I'm sure people could say this is like the start of the end. Classic Yu-Gi-Oh. A Cat of El Omen is actually like pretty solid. Like he's using like some decks. C's probably fine enough. Like I think an Owl of Luck is more of like a D tier thing, but I think Cat is is fine enough for that. Dark Room and Nightmare to see. Uh, yeah, I really like Dark Room Nightmare, but it is a card that never feels like it really gets to its fullest potential. Kind of similar thing with like Coffin Cellar. Yeah, like yeah, this was released like that was really same set as Terraforming, which is an all around better card. Like it's not inherently like it's certainly not F2 because it can't search the thing out. Like I said, it's a Gravekeeper adjacent support for Necro Valley, which is kind of nice. But yeah, it's not good. I think Dark Coffin is C too. O OT. Yeah, I really like Dark Coffin. I think that's a fair C tier card. Hit wrong button. Fair enough. Fair enough. Rite of Spirit's pretty. Yeah, Rite of Spirit's a B tier card. That card's pretty good. Just revive a Gravekeeper, regardless of Necro Valley. Just kind of like flipping through my pages here. Some of these cards are hard. Some of them are easier than others. Like Bizer Shock has seen play in probably more so like Steingate kind of decks, but people don't really play it. It was more popular like back then, but not really so much now. Um, it just feel like there are better options in general, especially when like Trinade's around anyway. It definitely surprise people. I don't think that inherently makes it good. Non-aggression error is actually like kind of nutty. Discard a card during your standby phase. Your opponent cannot normal summon, set or special summon during the next turn. Like that's really wild, right? Like yeah, it's pretty slow, but like in a game where you're essentially telling your opponent, "Hey, you ain't summoning next turn." That's strong. I'm putting that in B. That's like a weird stepbrother of Cold Wave. I got a new tier for you all. I got a new tier. Right now this F. This is a question tier. What is it? I don't know. It's a question. Nah, I'm just joking. I'm kidding. Yeah, we briefly talked about Sasuke early on. It is like an early, which is good. B tier, I guess. Like for what it could do, it was good. And while yeah, Sasuke would be or Mystic would be better. I mean, it does kill things, which is more than a lot of cards can say, for sure. Yeah, question is such like a dumb card. Your opponent cannot check cards in the graveyard. Your opponent has to call the name bottom of your graveyard. So if your bottom card is not a monster, does this not even work? I don't know what the ruling for that is. Or no, the first monster, excuse me. First monster. They call it right from its banish. If they call it wrong, you can special summon it. I mean, that last effect is really good, where you can special summon it, but if it's like way worse than it's like a really worse version of reasoning, right? Where reasoning is like your opponent doesn't know really anything per se, aside from an educated guess. Question is just like if they weren't paying attention, like they're fucked, whatever. But like that's asking. It's so specific. You have to do like so late in the game for it to work, or if they're like way too just not in tune. I really dig the card. I love like the art and like the gimmicky game thing behind it, but it's just so bad. It's so bad. It's like having a car that's like asking, "Oh, what were you wearing yesterday?" You know, It's like don't even, don't even, bruh. Rope of Life is kind of like another similar dumb thing. You should discard your entire hand when your monster is sent to the graveyard by battle destruction. You special summon and it gets an 800 boost. Oh yeah, it was really cool in the anime, but that's also a TV show, right? Like they're designed to have more like fun stuff like that. But as a card game goes, which is this is what it's based off of, like this tier list, not the same weight. I think Rope of Life. I think it's a D. I don't think it's an F, just because it is a trap that does like give a revival with a very good attack boost. You just have to discard your hand, which if you're running this card, you may kind of have ways to play around that. Because it does say minimum one. Alice's printing doesn't say minimum one, but you might need to have a minimum one though. But even still, I mean, I think it has some interesting utility, even though it is ultimately bad. I think. See, D tribe. All monsters on your field are dragged until the end of the turn. That seems. I mean, DNA surgery exists, which affects everything permanently. Outdated, outclassed, outmatched. Name of the game right there. Booyah. I don't know why I got that excited for D tribe. Like they could have just called Dragon Tribe. Why do you have to shorten the D? Right? This isn't like Monkey D tribe. Get out of here. Let's see, disturbance strategy. Your opponent puts all the cards in their hand back to their deck shuffle, and they draw the same number of cards. Uh so this card seems, I mean, you go -1, which is inherently bad. And it doesn't get rid of the cards, but I guess theoretically if your opponent's like setting up like a combo thing, you can completely like nip that in the bud. If it's like a deck that requires very specific cards to use. So I think with that in mind, it'll be a D tier. Right? It's not a good card, but I could see it be used. Trap a Border Racer, super rare. I love the art on this card, by the way. This one down here. Let's see, when you take effect damage, negate it. Your opponent discards a card from their hand. It seems like it's a fine counter, I suppose. Yeah, I feel like I have to give it a C. It doesn't like inherently like. Obviously, you want to cite it for like burn decks, and it stops, so like it's fine. It feels a bit specific. On the other hand, though, which another fantastic art though, Barrel Behind the Door, and I love the TCG art. When you take effect damage, your opponent takes the damage instead, and that in some ways is better. I think it's like a similar boat where it's like It doesn't deal with like the bigger issue at hand, but I can't say it's inherently bad because it does negate a a type of damage, and it does do something to your opponent instead. So I think that's fine. Narrow pass. When there are two or less monsters on both sides of the field, or either side. Once activated, both players can normal summon up to 2 additional monsters. This is such like a janky card. I've always kind of liked it. I think the only deck I've attempted to make this work in is like an Ojama lockdown kind of deck. So it's like both players need to have like at least 2 monsters, like 2 or less. It's it's definitely a win more card. I think it ultimately is like pretty bad. I don't think it's F. It's definitely a fun card at the very least. Let's see here. Coffin Cellar. Each time your opponent's monsters to the grave for like 300. So it's just like a general burn card. Is it like bad, 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 bad? Like it's only their monsters, and it's really only 300 now. I guess the idea is for like a burn deck, and like, they slowly increase in power. I think it's a C tier. I think it kind of falls under some other like burn cards where like it just adds on top. Like, it doesn't set you back per se if like that's your whole strategy, especially by this period in the game. Let's see, Curse of Aging. For I always liked this card back in the day. I think just because of I dug the art, like the ghosts coming out reminds me of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It wasn't good against Lightsworn. Are you talking about Coffin Cellar? Is it sent from the field to the grave or just you're saying they're sent to the grave? That's a fair point. Okay, I'll move it down to D. Yeah, like if it's not even working on like the decks that like would theoretically work well against compared to stuff that are more general burn. Okay, that's fair. I'll move it down to D. Curse of Aging. Discard a card. Decrease attack all monsters on your post by 500. Like why do you have to discard a card? I feel like discarding a card really shouldn't have any reason for being in this because it's kind of cool in the regards that it reduces like all of their attack, so you can attack over like everything theoretically instead of just having like one rush recklessly. But I feel like there's better options to deal with cards. But that's like your main thing, right? Raigeki, Dark Hole, Cyberjar, I suppose, or just having a better monster on the field. Anywhere, so it was used at some sideboards against lights when people stopped because it didn't work well. I mean, I definitely see like the argument for it, right? Or even something like Troop Dupe Scoop, where if they're maybe like milling like all these cards, theoretically you should do a lot of burn. But I think 300 was the thing that because monsters it's so specific. I feel like 500 at least is a bit better because that adds up a little bit more. Especially if you're asking for something a little more specific than Dark Room of Nightmare. But if you add it with Dark Room of Nightmare, then you're dealing 600. but then you're running like a more of a rather specific type because you still got to destroy the monsters. So like that burn strategy is also kind of running a different strategy, and that's the whole thing. 24 would be monsters would be lethal. Yeah, I mean it's something interesting to think about, but I do think it's bad in regards to it doesn't necessarily fit the game plan of the burn strategy. Like if you're gonna run a burn deck, you're gonna be running more burn cards than ones that rely on monster destruction. And if we're about monster destruction, then you're gonna be more focusing on that style of heavy hitting deck, in which Coffin Soul does not fit in really either of those. Which I think that's the crux of the issue here. But we're almost at 100 views in total. That's kind of exciting. Booyah. Let's see here. Let's see here. Either card advantage or burn strat. Hard to pick both. Yeah, like they're both two things that don't necessarily work together. I mean, theoretically, there could be like an archetype that makes use of it, and there might already be one, but we haven't yet Coffin Soul really make an impact with that. Because it has to be something that like revolves around destruction by battle, but deals like burn damage, like a chunk of burn damage on the side, kind of thing. You know, like monsters that will destroy like regardless, kind of thing. Like something that was like a bunch of yeah, just something that revolves around inherently destroying monsters by like a card effect. I think would be better. Like if we had something like Gravekeeper's Vassal, but stronger, that will always do like effect damage. Like if this card was like 1700 attack, then I could see you trying something fun with all these cards. But that's not the case. Dark Snake Syndrome. This one, if I remember, both players during each of your standby phases. By 200 and doubles each of your standby phase. This is such a silly card. I mean, it fits like the poison virus of affecting both players. Was that a big burn card? I feel like I don't recall people like really playing it. Because like if you're behind on life points, then you're kind of fucked. I don't see any top decks with it. Like if you draw that late game and you're not on the right point, it's dead. And also really like hurts you too. Which compared to like all the burn cards you could play, it feels a little bit razor's edgy. I'm feeling D. I don't know. Like I've played the card before, back then, and it's kind of crazy, but I feel like it's in the similar way of like Narrow Pass kind of is, where it's a little bit gimmicky. I think for its own good. I mean, sure, like sure it's better. I would say better than Coffin Cellar Narrow Pass, but I don't think it's like on the level of these cards of like Dark Room of Nightmare, where this card like will work with like all the burn cards, whereas this one also harms you. Like it actively harms you. And if your opponent starts getting the edge, then like you're really fucked, and that's not good. Like you're really having to test a lot with the card, and that's the problem with it. Let's see, Buster Rancher. What's going on, Madcap? Only monster with 1,000 attack or less during damage calc is increased by 2,500 points. When the opponent's monster has 2,500 or more attack, or when its defense is 2,500. I mean, it's kind of I see like the neatness in it, but at that point, just run any monster removal if that's like the big issue. Because otherwise, it's so freaking specific. I think is Buster Rancher DRF. Because like it's just if it's 2,400, if it's a Jinzo, you ain't punching over it. If it's a Dark Elf, you're not punching over it. And if it's a Blue Eyes, why not run Monster Reborn or not Monster Reborn, Raigeki or Return of the Doomed, Offerings to the Doomed, Dark Hole, Raigeki Break. Like it's horribly just outclassed immediately. I'm thinking F. I'm saying it. I'm just laying it out of the bag. I think it's F. I dig what they're going for, and I like the art, but it is like way too specific. I think I could be wrong, but most decks aren't running these like giant monsters, and if they are, they're already dealing with you in more ways that you need more than that to just hit over them. Because it's also like 2,500, so it's if we're doing 1,000 or less, depending on the monster, you still might not even be able to beat over a Blue Eyes, right? If it's a 400 attack or weaker monster. Let alone anything stronger, come the time when you see more stuff. If potentially like a Black Skull Dragon or Gate Guardian. Like, yeah. You ain't seen that. Different Dimension Capsule. This card has always been interesting. Because essentially it's a gold sarcophagus, but it stays on the field. Which is neat. I think that's a C. People have definitely tried this card out. It never quite works out, but I think like the theory is better than a coffin seller because you can even like combat with a DD card, like depending on like which one. I think it's like Survivor when that comes out in Lost Millennium, I believe. And you can search out any card, which is in theory really cool. I see Dark Designator. Select the monster card. It's in your opponent's hand. Add it to. Declare one monster card name if the card monster is in your opponent's deck. Add that card to their hand. No, thank you. Like I know it's supposed to work with like exchange, but also just don't give your opponent the card. I think that's enough, right? But if you're playing exchange, then usually exchange is more in regards like if you're playing exchange, it's either to like if it's for your opponent, it's either like a counter to Exodia or like a hand trap or some like really important combo piece that like they're already gonna have. Otherwise, you're using it with your own strategy, in which this doesn't really help out with that. Like, God forbid you add the head of Exodia to their hand, and all of a sudden, oops, guess what? Now they have Exodia, and you lose. Like, I can definitely see, you activate this, you call Pot of Greed or Graceful Charity, and then you use it. But I feel like you're on, like, way too neg. Like, this is way too specific and way too, like, neg cards to get a certain card that they may or may not have. Right? Like, it could be set on the field, it could be in their hand. Like, I guess, like, the plus side is that you don't technically lose anything for it. Like, aside from you're going inherently neg one with the card. Like, if you call it wrong, it's not like you lose it's not like you lose an additional card, which I guess is something, but the card's already going neg one. And then if you go exchange, you're also going neg one because you're swapping two other cards. So now you're neg two. And then if you, let's say if you call Pot of Greed or Race for Charity, you're essentially going plus, let's say, plus one. So you're still neg one. So it's still bad. That's my reasoning. Let's see. Charm of Chapti. I know this is a side deck card. If it's discarded from your hand to the grave, to make damage inflicted, that include Gravekeepers and their name till 0. That seems bad. Really bad. Like, it protects your Gravekeepers for a turn. Though it doesn't make their attack 0, though. Just. It's interesting, I suppose. But I don't think Gravekeepers really need it, though. That's the thing. Like, if you have Necro Valley, they already have, like, good attack. If you don't have that, then you rather play stuff to use Necro Valley. And if it's battle is your issue, you could always just run more defensive cards. It seems like he's just actively hurting you. Let's see. When you Falcos, he's like a Jackal Light. So he's not utter garbage per se. I mean, he does have the same issues Jackal has, where you don't want to attack over a Recruiter or Sangan. But his stats are, like, fine enough, I suppose. And you could theoretically put your opponent in a lock. I I'll give him a C. I think he's, like, okay as is. Like, he's never going to go higher than that, but it's fine. The man with the Wishat. You normal summon him. Make sure your standby phases as long as he's on the field. Look at a set card. JDZ played this card in a deck, right? It's like a Woodjot control. It's kind of spicy. I mean, he's good stats, 16-16. And you constantly look at, like, what your opponent has to give you, like, constant knowledge. I'll give him a C. I'll be generous today for JDZ. Do. Let me read Watcher real quick. When your opponent face effect, makes you discard a card. can negate it. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine as a C. A Pharaoh's Treasure. Hope everyone also just check on everyone. Hope everyone's having a good time. Keeping hydrated. This card goes up face up in your deck and shuffle it. When you draw it, it is immediately sent to the graveyard. Then you can add one card in your graveyard, except that to your hand. That is interesting. It is really slow. I enjoy the gimmick of it, but it is like horrendously slow and random. So I'll have to give it a D because like theoretically, if you get it and you can bring back a card, like it's kind of cool. You can just bring back any card aside from itself. So I'll give it that much. I feel like this is where bulk of like the time goes. Like, I could like drop a ton of the good cards in, but as soon as I'm like I have to read this card, which is probably why I wouldn't do like GX sets and beyond, because I'm so unfamiliar with like the bulk of the sets comparatively to DM era sets. Pyro Clock, move turn by 1. I feel like this is like only works with like Swords Revealing Light and Final Countdown and like stuff like that. I'll put it in D because I know people like once in Blue Moon will mess around with it, even if it's like really bad. Needle Wall during standby phase, roll a 6-sided die. Treat your opponent's monster zone as 1 through 5. Destroy one that is in the same monster zone as the result. 6, roll again. This is definitely a chaotic card, and I feel like with what I mentioned with Blind Destruction, I kind of enjoy chaotic cards. Like it is like completely random, but at least it only affects your opponent's side of the field. So it never affects your side of the field, which is nice. So you're never technically going to like if it works, it works. Great. If it doesn't, then it's like I think it's a C. I appreciate how chaotic it is. And it's definitely a card that you can kind of just activate and just let it marinate. Statue of the Wicked, I think, is kind of an underrated card. If it's destroyed, you can summon a Wicked token, 1,000 attack and defense. And you can tribute it, you can attack with it, you can do stuff with it. I think that's pretty underrated. Like it's kind of the first of its kind before we got like embodiment of Apophis. Let alone Paleozoics. Punishes back removal too. It's a little slow in that regard. That has to be destroyed. But other than that, I think it's kind of height. Crowler's card. Yeah, you can tribute over it. Great. Like people should be putting like one copy of this in Monarch decks. I tell you. Curse of Royal, negate activation card that includes the effect of destroying a magic or trap card. I mean, that seems okay. Although it is specific, though, in destroying 1. So it doesn't stop Heavy Storm, I think. Like, it stops cards that target, like MST. It's like the white hole to MST. Which makes it way more specific, because then now if you activate, like, Harpies or Heavy, like, you're like, fuck, I can't use this. Because otherwise, just run, like, Magic Jammer or something. Right? I'm going to put it in C. I was tempted for D. I think it's barely generic enough to be like usable theoretically in something. Like it definitely has like a certain target. Like I think it also technically will stop Breaker, right? Because Breaker can he has an effect that can pop a card, like a back row card. So food for thought. Bottomless shifting sand. At the end of the opponent's turn, destroy face up monster with the highest attack on the field. During your own phase, you have 4 or less cards in your hand. This is destroyed. Uh, it seems neat, I guess. You have to have. Essentially, you can use it as like a 1-turn like big monster popper. So I'll give it a D. Like you can, like, you don't have to activate it when you have the strongest monster, right? You can wait till your opponent has like that big monster, activate it, and with your small hand, just like I think it's sent whatever, just quick end of turn removal. So yeah, it's a bit situational, but I kind of dig it, I suppose. Ordeal of a Traveler. I kind of like this card too. When your opponent activates effect when your opponent attacks, you select a random card in your hand, and they call it if it's wrong. If they call it wrong, the attack monster return to the hand. It definitely relies on like what your hand is, and that technically does give them information. But if you're sending like their monster back potentially like multiple turns, it could be quite the annoying card. I'm gonna give it a C. I I I find it rather fun. Teuton Mask negates a spell or trap card that targets one face-up zombie monster as a target. It's specific, so I'll give it a D. It's not like inherently trash, but it is very specific though. But at least it's just like if you're running a zombie deck, I mean that's gonna be like your whole deck. It just stops certain cards. That's so bad though. Let's see, Pyramid Energy. You activate an effect, increase all phase up monsters you have by 200, or increase their defense by 500. It's it seems like Banner of Courage, like that level. It's kind of the same thing, but it's a quick play. You could potentially use like defensive stuff, but yeah, I think it's another D tier. Timidity. Both players cannot destroy set or trap cards on the field to their opponent's next end phase. I mean, that's kind of neat. I think it's like it reminds me of Cold Wave kind of, where you can like set your cards, like wait a turn and then like pop off King. I'll give that a C. I wish it was just all set cards though. That'd make it way better for like flip effect stuff and whatnot. A Call of Mummy, special summon a zombie monster once per turn from your hand. I mean, that's really good, right? You can summon any zombie monster as long as you don't have a monster on your side of the field. So you can essentially like summon like a big zombie monster, should you want to, like a Ryukoki or a Vampire Lord. Once those are released, obviously. Was this card used in any top decks? I wonder. It was not. That's kind of an interesting. Where do we want to put Call of the Mummy? I'm thinking C. I feel like I can't justify it enough for a B tier. Given zombies already have like a lot to get its stuff out, especially like if you have something on the field, it's just dead. It just feels more like an annoying card than anything else, which I think fits some of these other cards too. A Secret Pass I remember really liking a lot. A monster with an attack equal or to 1,000 points or less. So this is used with an OTK. Because you can select a weak monster attack directly, and then you just like boost it up with a bunch of cards. Yo, what's up? 989 Hawk. As a GK player, Chief should be B tier based on the monsters it shares C tier with. I mean, I played GK too. I think the thing with Chief is that just like the tribute is kind of a bit sus in like Gravekeepers. Like he can revive one, which is cool, but like 1900 attack though. I mean, yeah, he gets a Necro Valley boost, but like you already have Spear Soldier and Assailant that can get through like most things. I feel like almost every Gravekeeper deck I see, like they're not running Chief, right? Like, let me look up. There was one deck in 2020. It was Gravekeeper Burning Abyss. And that was just in the side deck. Because all their cards were just all Gravekeepers for some reason. No, this is just like a Burning Abyss. What the fuck is this deck? This deck looks so dumb. Get that out of here. Yeah, no, like, don't get me wrong. I really like Chief, personally. Like, if I could run Chief in a Gravekeeper deck, like, I will. But it just doesn't feel like it does enough. Like, you can bring back a monster, but why not just run Rite of Spirit instead of tributing your own monster for it? And if you're gonna run a tribute monster, there are just better tribute monsters to run in general. I mean, I didn't, like, yeah, like we got these in C, but I also kind of spread them out a little bit too. Like I was generous with Cannon Soldier, I think. Like, again, I really like Chief. I'm just trying to be at least fair with it. Because I definitely see your point. Where like compare like some of these cards, but I also don't think he's the same level as these cards either. Which actually is kind of something I brought up last stream, where it almost feels like there should be a B minus or C plus tier. Like I'm not gonna do that, but like there are definitely cards that kind of blurred the lines as well. Like I made an F tier 2 streams ago. I think that's about as much as I'm gonna get with it. Yeah, Secret Pass I think is like, yeah, you boost up an OTK. It's really janky, but I definitely dig it. But because it's janky, I feel like it has to go in C tier. Also, art is top tier. Top tier art for sure. Let's see, going down on this. Cobra Man Sakuzi. Really cool art. Definitely dig him. See this guy. Another one of those reflippers. Look at all set back row cards on your opponent's field. I feel like that's not doing enough. Like it's one thing for the man with the Wajak because he has like good stats and stuff. Like over the course of the game, but this guy he doesn't have really the stats to back it up. Like if he had like 1900 defense, like 500 more defense, I think he would be better for a variety of reasons. Really, I mean, even when like Ultra Evolution comes out, that would have been fun. But yeah, I put him in D. Not inherently like trash, but really bad. Dark Scorpion boogers. Inflict battle damage. Opponent selects a magic card from their deck and send it. Yeah, I mean, 1,000. That's kind of bad. D, I'm gonna say. Dice Jar JDZ might enjoy this card. Yeah, it is Vampire Lord, and honestly, sending a spell is probably the best target you could pick. But the 1,000 is pretty bad. Yeah, Vampire Lady is better. Like the card just does not have enough firepower to make it worth it. Because the thing with Vampire Lord, it's like even with Vampire Lord's effect, like Ryukoki is people generally accept that as the better card. Like I think Vampire Lord's big thing, really more than anything, is that it's kind of annoying to get rid of, more so than the dumping effect. Because that's just kind of like the icing on top. And this, like, I would not want to eat like a spoonful of icing, especially like dollar store icing. So that's Star Scorpion Burglars for you. Dollar store icing. If Jay-Z would like Dice Jar, because he did that Dice Jar deck. It's it's bad, but it's really janky. Is that worth a C tier though? Yeah, even like Vampire Lady with 1550 attack is just better. Dice Jar, Dice Jar, Dice Jar. Where do you go? Are you C or D? If you roll a dice and the player with the lowest result takes damage equal to his or her opponent's result, but if the roll is 6, the loser takes 6,000 points of damage. That's a D. It's super janky, but it is really bad, in all honesty. Don't want to fool myself here. Let's see. 8 fun. Yeah, it's a fun jank card, but it's certainly way less. It's certainly worse than some other jank cards like up here, like Secret Pass of the Treasures. I would say, because this one's just like it's so random, and it can potentially like really harm you, which is really bad. Like it's so Needle Wall just feels like a kind of more of a fun card than Dice Jar does. Even though theoretically you can win the game with Dice Jar. It feels like you're more lucky to just get the effect off once in your entirety. A Claw Scorpion. It's a reflipper. When it targets face down defense position monster or opponent side of the field in battle, attack becomes 2,400 or damage calc only. This card just kills Spy, doesn't it? It has to be face down. That's not. I mean, its stats are like really bad, so I feel like I have to put it in C tier or D. Excuse me, not C tier. I kind of dig. It reminds me of Coleman Sakuzi, right? It's a reflipper with a, I would say a better effect, but its stats are bad, and in this case, its stats are even worse. Like at least this guy becomes 2,400 attack, and while Sakuzi just lets you look at some cards, but its base stats at 300, 200 are just so abysmal. Like if this card had like had 1,200 attack, it'd be better. 1,200 attack, 1,500 defense. I like that, but not with what it currently has. Let's see, Giant Axe Mummy, Reflipper. Let's see. When he attacks a face and defense position monster, when the attack of a monster on your opponent's side of the field that attacks this card in face down defense position is lower than the defense of this monster. I fucking hate old text. I feel like an idiot. So if their attack is lower than 2,000 attack into it, they're destroyed. Yeah, I mean, again, that seems just like the same level as like these guys. It's okay, I guess, but not good enough to really win you the game. I mean, 1,700 because it's a tribute too. It's like its stats are good, but its attack kind of sucks. But then like but if the whole point is to destroying is by just having a attack higher, once they get that, like you're screwed. Like you can't do anything, and your whole strategy falls to pieces. Wander Mummy, another reflipper. Once it flips, shuffles all face down defense position monsters on your side of the field and returns them face down. I mean, that's kind of fun in regards to like it shuffles things around. 15/15 is like okay. It technically doesn't do anything, but like I can see you do a fun deck with it, but yeah, same thing. World Keeper, another reflipper. We got so many reflippers. Unfortunately, only the Pac-Man stuff were of any usability. But this one, increase attack by 300 till the end of the turn. That's face up. So it'll essentially get to 1,900 attack. Or 2,000 defense. I mean, that's better. Although it is a little weird in regards to that. Excuse me. Yeah, it's better, but like consider that if your opponent attacks into it during your turn, and let's say okay, now you're protected. When it's your turn, you either have to like reset it, in which the attacking doesn't really matter too much. I mean, a 16 attack, which like isn't horrendous, right? Like it has good stats, all things considered. I think the problem with some of these cards is that like if once your opponent gets like anything better, like you are boned. So we have Gemini Elf in the game, right? We have defenders in the game. We have like Bazoo and Kaiku and all these cards that just kind of do more than that. Like it's better, but I just don't think like the strategy is necessarily good. Like looking at all these like reflipper monsters, you just feel like they're all like in the same boat. Right? Like even Fuchsia Richie is also like a reflipper. Like he's there too. And the ones that aren't are like the ones that actually like pop cards. I think that's like the big difference. Right, with like Des Lakuta and the Soren Scarabs. Where Scarabs, pops a monster. Locust pops back row card. And then Lakuta. What the heck did you do? Where is my Des Lakuta at? There you are. Yeah, like this card, you get a draw card, which is cool. I'm just gonna put them with like the other ones. 'Cause I feel like they do kind of all have like this similar issue. Poison Mummy, flip and 500 of direct damage. I mean, what are you really doing? I guess it's like okay, cool. I mean, 1,800 defense is like all right, but he's not a reflipper. Like this card seems like he'd be a reflipper. And that seems a bit better too, because then you could really have like a solid burn strategy with it, like stalling out and like reflipping him 500, 500 kind of thing. That would seem much better. Agora Turtle. As long as it makes face up on the field, monsters attack with 900 or more cannot attack. I mean, that's cool. I feel like it doesn't really cover a lot of bases. Also has bad defense. Like come on, it's a turtle. Give it 2K defense. What are you doing? Interesting, but way too fragile. Moisture creature. I'm actually surprised that there hasn't really been that many F tier cards in this set. Like I feel like the majority have been like B and C. Or really, I guess we're looking at it B, C, and D. Like fairly balanced, all things considered. This set is moist creature. If you tribute someone, if you use 3 monsters for the tribute, to roll axe, creates feathers duster. It has like pretty decent stats. Unfortunately, 3 monsters is kind of asking for a lot, and otherwise doesn't do much. So I'll give it a C. The Time Eater, if it destroys a monster outside the field, they skip their next main phase 1. I mean, that's definitely fun, although it is a tribute with 1900 attack. It's definitely a disruptive kind of card, right? During the fight, use Time Eater. I recall something with Time Eater. It might be just one of those like weird one-off things. Oh, wait, is it Time? Oh, Time Eater, one word. Yeah, nothing on top decks. Yeah, I kind of want to give it a C. Like it seems disruptive enough, right? Like kind of in a not as good, but like similar vein as like an Air Knight. Because like now your opponent can't like go into a battle phase. Like they go in base an empty battle phase potentially. Though I could also give it a D though. Let me see if I can find anything on it. It just feels like odd. Time Eater, Time Eater, Time Eater Terminal World Lockdown deck from a Pojo post from 2014. There's a post from 2005. Does Time Eater even have potential? Use limiter removal with it. Use stuff like Time Eater and Shallow Grave, Mystic Plasma Zone. Yeah, I'll keep it there for now. Why not? Why not? The Jowls of Dark Demise. Flip. Takes control of a monster until the end of the turn. When the control monster attacks, it can attack directly. That its stats are like really terrible. Your opponent can't like attack into it without destroying it. And if they attack into it, they can steal a monster, but then you can't attack with it, which is pointless. But, like on paper, it's kind of nice. Like if you can take something during your turn with a high level monster and just attack directly, that's it's cute, I suppose. I like the art. Art's pretty sick. Finally, we got Arsenal Bug. Arsenal bug. I talked about this earlier. Throw face up insect monsters, then he uses 1,000 attack and defense. He does work under skill drain nicely. Otherwise, like an insect deck. So like skill drain wise, like he's great. 2k attack, 2k defense. I feel like there are ways to make him work. I'll give him a C. Boom. I kind of went right through that. That was a Pharaonic Guardian for you in slightly under 3 hours. This one was tough, and definitely had to make me make more uh, all thought out, but also decisive choices because I could have pondered on this a lot longer. But I think interesting about this set, which is I've mentioned before, it's one of my, if not my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh set. It is like really fairly balanced. There's not really many S tier cards, but if you look at all things considered, from like good to like okay, like the good stuff in A and S to like the decent stuff in the playable stuff in B and C to like the bad stuff in D and F, it's fairly balanced all things considered. Which it feels like we're getting more of the more sets we're doing. And this set's definitely way more complicated than before. I know that was an issue a lot of people had back when the set was released. It's just how much more complicated the cards are. But I think that ultimately improved play for the game of just like trying stuff out and trying new strategies, whether it was like good or fun or just something kind of different. So that definitely did. The set definitely did a lot in that regard. Like a lot of new decks you can make from it. It was like Egyptian themes. There were zombie themes. There's like weird ass shit. It had a little bit of everything. It had something for everyone, I think. That's why I'm a big proponent of this set. And again, like this list, I'm sure you can move like something around. I think my camera froze again. Why you do that to me, camera? While I was talking, no less. That's silly. Oh, now we're back. Okay, cool. But yeah, no, like there's just a little something for everyone. I think that's just like a ton of fun. And, I don't know, just really enjoy the deck. I keep saying deck, I mean set. You know what I mean. Yeah, so next week should be Magician's Force stream, and then I'll be out for 2 weeks. But currently the plan is we'll at least get through the DM arrow sets and then move on from there for my microphone or my webcam decides to poo poo on me. A very unflattering image. Whatever. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a stream there. Excited video for next week. Got some cool stuff for the next couple of months. So if you like to support yourself further, definitely check my Patreon. But otherwise, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. See you all next time. Have a good one.